Hi, I'm Mash Ponigala, brand strategist at Spellbrand. I want to start a series on sales funnels and what sales funnels are, how to go about understanding the journey of the buyer, your kind of target audience, your customers, and how a sales funnel can be created at different stages of the journey. Now, sales funnels are a funny thing because it's actually a term that's as old as marketing, and yet very few people understand that. Especially in this day and age, entrepreneurs, stakeholders in brands, startups, for them a sales funnel is really sales. That means it comes at the stage where they're actually selling to a customer. But a sales funnel is much more than that. It's actually a misnomer. Maybe it should be called as a marketing funnel or even a brand awareness funnel. Because at the end of the day, the sales part of a sales funnel really happens at almost the end stage. And it's only 20% of the entire process. A sales funnel, in fact, the 80% of that sales funnel is about building this relationship, building this bond with the customer, and then positioning them in front of our product or service or whatever it is, and then making the sales happen. In the past, sales was much about shouting from the rooftop, right? You got a megaphone, you're standing on the rooftop, and you're shouting, saying, come on, come, this is what we have, buy, discounts, sale, sale, sale. But the past few years, it's become more of an attraction mechanism. Shouting from the rooftops is not really working. What works is building a relationship with the target audience, attracting them towards our funnel, putting them through the funnel where they're also gaining value. And then, of course, at the end, positioning them in front of our products or services and letting them decide to make the purchase. In fact, there is no sales in the traditional sense. Okay, let's take a look at the buyer's journey first. A buyer goes through several stages, and understanding those stages is very critical to building a good sales funnel. Now let's take a look at the different stages of a buyer's journey and how a sales funnel can be created during those stages. A buyer's journey can be made up of seven different stages. You have the awareness stage, the interest phase, evaluation, decision, purchase, and then repurchase. So those are the 7 phases of a buyer's journey. In the awareness stage, the prospect becomes aware of your brand, your product, or both, right? Okay, so this is assuming that the buyer has already identified that they have a problem, and maybe they're looking around and they sort of, they become aware of your brand. Then you have the interest phase where they demonstrate an interest in solving the problem they're facing, and they're actually conducting research into existing solutions. Then you have the evaluation phase, where they're researching into the various solutions on offer, and ideally the potential customer is looking hard at your product or service and has given you permission to market to them via email or some other marketing method that you can track. In the decision phase, the customer makes a final decision, and then the customer pulls the trigger in the purchase phase and they decide to buy. Now, ideally, they decide to buy from your brand, which is your product or your service. And then attached to this, and which a lot of people ignore, or maybe not even aware of, is the repurchase phase. This is where a customer actually renews their subscription, reorders, or renews their contract. So that means they come back for more, assuming, of course, your product or service is something that people can buy, more than once. So these are the 7 different kind of phases of a buyer's journey. Now let's look at awareness phase and what happens during this phase. This is the top of the sales funnel, right? So the awareness and interest phases, these two form top of the sales funnel. And during this phase, you have capturing leads via advertising or capturing leads via providing value. Now, advertising is an important part of marketing, of course, but it's expensive, right? You need to put in a lot of money, and you need to know what you're doing so that you can get some return on investment on the money you invested. For most part, people actually lose money in advertising because they don't know how it works. They don't have the time to educate themselves on advertising. Let's just take the case of AdWords, right? Google AdWords, or YouTube advertising, or even Facebook advertising, LinkedIn advertising, whatever. You're advertising on a platform. It looks simple enough, but it is very complicated, and it's very easy to lose track or not even understand what works and what doesn't. And then, of course, making sure that the money you're investing actually is giving a return. So for the most part, what people do is they start dabbling in advertising. Google AdWords, for example, they put in a little bit, they see no results, the money is down the drain, and then they take a step back and say, okay, advertising is not for us. But actually, if done properly, or if done through an organization that actually knows what they're doing, like a marketing agency, advertising can be very effective. The return on investment on advertising can be tremendous. You put in $1, you can take out $3, $5, sometimes even $20. And of course, in the rare cases, there's a return on investment of $100 or maybe even $1,000, right? For $1, you get back $1,000. But that's very rare. That can be counted on the fingers. And these are experts who've been doing marketing and advertising for scores of years, and they know what they're doing. But let's just get back to the realistic situation where there is a possibility of putting in $1 and you're getting out $3, maybe even $5. $10 is fantastic. 10 times the return. I mean, if you could get that, then that's it. That you need to then hone in on that, rinse and repeat, and tweak it and make sure that you're on top of that. So when advertising is like this, most people, the best option is to really capture leads via content. So they put out valuable content, they then attract the audience, they build a relationship with this audience, and finally, they put them into the funnel. They then have the mid of the funnel and then the bottom of the funnel. Content is things like blog posts, could be videos, could be podcasts, could be images online, could be reports, downloadable ebooks, maybe free courses, anything that gives value to your target audience. So first step is to provide value to your audience. That's the holy grail and the cardinal rule of marketing, especially today, right? So sit down, think of how you can provide value to your target audience, right? So if you're in the travel sector, then what is it that you can provide value to your target audience? This could be, of course, information, do's and don'ts, tips, lists, reviews, recommendations, itineraries. All these things can be valuable content. And these can be, of course, put up on your blog, or you could create a PDF that people can download, which is the best way to do it because you're then building an email list. Or you could have a YouTube channel and put out content. You visit places, you create videos, you then, not just videos where people are, they got this random kind of thing, they just talk about what they're doing, what they're eating, but more structured. Okay? It's not just a vlog, but you're giving value to your audience. So this is content-based kind of top of the funnel, or at least creating this awareness and interest. You're nurturing your audience. And that's what you would be doing at the top of the sales funnel, right? So capturing leads via advertising, or it could be capturing leads by providing value. Then you come to the middle of the sales funnel. This is the evaluation phase. This is where people are now thinking seriously. Yes, you know what? I need a solution. I need something. And you're probably one of those contenders. For this phase, three things really work well. Email sequences. So in this phase, you put people into the funnel, you put them into an email list, and then you have email sequences. You could be doing webinars, or you could still continue doing blog posts and other content, such as videos and things like that. So the middle of the funnel is very important, because now the people are into your funnel and your audience, and there is a little bit of trust. Otherwise, they wouldn't be in your funnel, right? So they wouldn't have given you maybe the email address or whatever that you put them. And a newsletter, an email newsletter, is fantastic. Of course, it depends on the kind of business. But for example, our business, which is one of the businesses, is the agency, the branding agency, and we have dabbled with email sequences, and they were working fantastically for a few years back. But right now, maybe in the future we'll do it, but right now we've sort of stopped, or rather paused, this email kind of marketing. Not because it's not working, it used to work fantastically, but because our message has changed, our strategy has changed. And that's why I say for every sales funnel, you need a strategy, right? You need a strategy that dictates, okay, this is our intention, this is what we want to give to our audience, and this is what we want them to do, because an action, a call to action, is very important. I mean, I am so amazed and sometimes even fed up and frustrated when I see marketing sales funnels and the call to action is so limp, it's so feeble, it just doesn't work. I don't know why. It's human tendency. I think we're probably afraid to ask for that thing. But if you have done the sales funnel properly, you've set it up properly, you've given sufficient value to your audience, then you wouldn't be afraid to ask for an action, right? You wouldn't have a feeble kind of call to action. So email sequences, the best way. In fact, I'll do another video just dedicated to email sequences, email newsletters, and how to go about doing that. But just make sure that you're still providing value in those email sequences. So let's just suppose that someone comes to your blog, they download a PDF, they give you an email address in return for downloading a PDF. That does not mean that they've given you permission to just market or blast them with your sales messages, right? No sales messages, at least initially. 80-20 rule, 80% value, 20% maybe, you're slowly introducing your service or product. You're referencing, you're bringing it into the conversation. And then maybe you're offering a discount, or maybe you're then asking to take an action by saying, listen, you've been patient so far, I hope you found value so far, and if you still have this problem, we have a solution for that. And by being a part of our community, by putting up with my email so far, here is something for you to take action. It could be a discount, it could be a coupon code, it could be a value added service on top. So this is only for people in our email newsletter list, right? People who go to our website and buy directly, they get it. They get the service for that price. But for you, here is an additional bonus. Maybe it's a series of videos that after you purchase, you can then watch these videos as a bonus, and they give you more value. They make that product or service better, something like that. So you need to be providing value through your email sequences, webinars, or even through your blog. Just keep on in the midsection of the sales funnel, and then give this call to action. introduce your product or service, and do it with the 80-20 kind of principle. Then you have the bottom of the sales funnel. Now the bottom of the sales funnel, of course, here is where you would be doing the actual sales, right? So this could be sales materials, CRM materials, user communities. So you're taking it a step further to sort of bring that sale home. And again, just be careful, okay? No heavy-handed sales techniques, okay? Don't fall for that aggressive sales techniques that a lot of gurus online advocate, and they say sell, 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 and I mean, yeah, maybe they're having results. I'm sure they're having results, but I don't know. When I look at sales techniques and this aggressive kind of thing that, for example, the Wolf of Wall Street, advocates. I mean, I love the guy. I love that film, but somehow I find that very, very aggressive. Also, Dan Pena. I mean, there's lots of people who advocate these aggressive sales techniques. Dan Locke is another guy, but personally, I don't like them. I don't like, not the people, I mean to say, I don't like those techniques, because aggressive sales techniques, I think, is what's wrong with marketing these days, and that's what tarnishes a particular market segment. And the guys who do it aggressively, yeah, they may actually benefit from it, but they end up damaging the market segment, and for the others who come later, it's going to become an uphill battle. So don't be aggressive. Just make sure that you create sales materials that are still offering value while selling. So that value still continues. And then you know what? It's very easy for that prospect to pull the trigger and buy your product or service, because even in the sales message, you're offering value because you care about your potential customer. And if they don't buy from you, that's fine. You know, you've made a difference in this world. You've improved their lives in some, in some way, even if it's a little way. But if they buy from you, that's fantastic. Okay, so you've given value and they've given value back. And of course, now you have a new relationship, and you make sure that you deliver on that promise that's been building up all this while with your product or service. If you have a shitty product or if you have a shitty service, then yeah, then this is probably not what you should be doing. But spend time to make sure that your product or service stands up to whatever you promised. It's your brand promise. So to go back to the sales funnel concept, you start with a strategy, okay, a marketing strategy, a branding strategy. Your brand identity, your visuals should be on point. When you put your prospects through a sales funnel, everything should be consistent. Everything should be on point. Your website, your blog, your brand identity, your social media channels, your corporate colors, your typography, everything should be on point. The content that you write, the content that you provide should be of value. It should be high quality and of value, not some rubbish junk that you get, somebody to write for you for $5 or $10 a pop, 500-word article with the keywords stuffed in it, just for the sake of, no. Even if it takes you 3 weeks, right? Sit down and craft a piece of content that has so much value that your prospect, doesn't even want to go through the sales funnel, right? They just want to buy from you. That is the level at which you should be putting content out. And once they're in the funnel, don't blast them with sales messages. 80-20 rule, 80% of value, 20% is then you've earned to give them a sales message. And even in that sales message, make sure it has value. And once they sort of make the purchase, make sure that your product or service stands up to the brand promise. That will ensure the last phase, which is repurchase, the 7th phase of the buyer's journey, which is the repurchase, right? So that they buy from you again and again. Because it's far cheaper to get repeat sales than to get new customers. It's been proven. So retain your customers, unless of course you're selling a product that lasts for 5 or 10 years, and even then they would come back after that 5 or 10 years. And if you're still in business and if you still have the product, maybe a better product, they will buy from you. So the last segment, which is, let me show you, is very critical, right? This last segment, this repurchase, is very, very critical. And this will ensure longevity of your brand. It will ensure that, come what may, maybe the markets or trends, whatever changes, people are still loyal to you. There's loyal to your product or service. Okay, so that is a brief overview of the buyer's journey and a sales funnel. So you should never look at a sales funnel by itself. You should look at it from the perspective of the buyer's journey, because there is no sales funnel without the buyer journeying through, from a stage where they have a problem, or they may be aware of it or not. They have a problem, and then they become aware of that problem. That's the awareness stage. And then they're interested in solving that problem. That's the interest phase. And then they're moving slowly through other phases till they come to a decision phase. And then they decide to buy, and they make the purchase. And finally, of course, they need to purchase again and again down the line. And you need to be in all these phases. When they're aware of their problem, create content that makes them even more aware and makes their awareness clear. Educate, right? Provide education at that phase. The interest phase and the awareness phase is about educating. This is giving value to your customers. I know I'm repeating, going on in circles, but I cannot emphasize enough, right? I will try to do more videos on the sales funnel. There's other topics such as how to optimize a sales funnel, right? And then of course the landing page and content creation and surveys, headlines. There's many things, and I will do more videos. Once I make those videos, I will leave links back under this video, so you can come back and then continue the journey. But if you have any questions, leave them below. If you already have a sales funnel, based on this video, go back and take a look at it. Does it meet the different stages or phases of your prospect, or is it just a sales message, right? Look at all the things that I talked about adding value and all that. If you're trying to set up a new sales message, then watch this video carefully. Again, take some notes and make sure that you have this. I've written a very detailed article on this topic, and I will leave a link below this video. Go check it out. It's got examples at every stage, details. In fact, let me show that article to you so you get an idea. This is the article that I've written. Master the sales funnel to double or triple your sales and revenue. And this goes in depth. First, why you need a sales funnel. What is a marketing funnel? Of course, the phases that I just spoke about right now. How marketing fits into the journey and what makes a sales funnel. Then you have the top of the sales funnel, capturing leads, and then other marketing strategies. Then you have the middle of the sales funnel. You have email sequences, how to go about doing this email sequence. And then finally, then you have mid-funnel advertising. You have case studies, and then you have bottom of the funnel, what kind of content you can provide at the bottom of the funnel, and then your goal at the bottom of the funnel. So this is a very detailed article, and go check it out, read through as a companion to this video, and I'm telling you, your perspective on sales funnels will change for the better, and you will be able to create sales funnels that are effective. But keep tabs on this video and the subsequent ones where I go through the other facets and other attributes of sales funnels in detail. All right, till my next video, take care.